All right, Greg Jackson wants to know, this is a good one. Would Ricky Williams be in the Hall of Fame if the NFL allowed marijuana during the years he was in the NFL?
I do think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. Ricky Williams was definitely a Hall of Fame talent. Ricky Williams is, even after some of the marijuana, I'm escaping to Canada and quitting football and doing that, he came back to the Miami Dolphins. You got to look at Ricky Williams' career stats. They're pretty impressive. And you get into some of those years with the Dolphins and you go, oh gosh, he was towards the top of the NFL in rushing, per year. And freak of nature. I've said this, I'll say it again. You couldn't stick a knife in Ricky Williams. I mean, the knife would bend. That's how dense he was. He was just truly a physical freak, to where I saw some of the toughest dudes I ever knew in my life in the NFL. When Ricky Williams run at them, they said, screw that, I'm going down to his ankles and just going to hope he trips over me, because he was like a freight train, quick, explosive, acceleration, power, had it all. I truly believe Ricky, I mean, even right now, you could make a borderline case.
Yeah.
And go.
Well, especially if you look at the numbers now and how much the game has changed, and rightfully so, because the amount of carries and touches that Ricky Williams got, it's disturbing, I guess would be the best way to put it, especially when you look at today's game. He got abused.
He got abused.
He really
going back and even to college. I mean, he did. Yeah, the last few years at Texas. And, he was a true workhorse, but he had the body that could handle it. But, I think if marijuana was legal in the NFL and he didn't have to worry about it, that I could say was an extra 3,000, maybe 4,000 yards in Ricky Williams' total career yardage, to where now all of a sudden you go, whoa, that's kind of up there in the rankings.
And plus, part of his problems also were just being comfortable.
They
comfortable in his own skin with his celebrity and everything, and you have to feel like that would have only helped him in that situation.
Ricky had social issues, and he admitted that. Ricky he's a great dude. I almost said was, like he still is. He's a great dude. Like I enjoyed being around Ricky Williams, the person, a lot. No ego. He really had a hard time accepting the fact that people thought he was special, and I always thought that was kind of cool about Ricky.
So, being told here, if you add 4,000 yards to Ricky Williams.
Yeah, where's he at?
6th all time.
6th all time. There he
Curtis Martin had
So,
him.
Okay. And if we added 3,000 yards, where would it be at, Pete? 10th all time. So there you go.
Behind Eric Dickerson.
So there you go. He's probably in the Hall of Fame.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's stay with this, because obviously other big news, NFL reassessing pain management policies, that they will look into marijuana. And it seems logical, obviously, at this point. I mean, I think it's also something that's going to take time and significant amounts of time, which is too bad in many ways.
Yeah, no.
But to me, right away, I find that if you play in a place, in a state, in a city, where recreational marijuana is legal, I just don't understand how you could have a policy against it. I don't get it. I think that, to me, right away. And then, obviously, if you play in a place where medical marijuana is legal and you have a prescription, again, I don't know. To me, there are easy, basic steps that can be taken here.
So, but what do you do with this? So how do you? This is where it's an interesting conversation. I'm asking you. What do you do? Like, what do you do about the states like Wisconsin, where it's not medicinally, or just legal in general? To where you go, Green Bay Packers, you can't do it, but yet, the team next door, for some reason,
well, it's interesting, too. I mean, I think, unfortunately, you probably have to, right? You can't have a policy that essentially goes against the state law.
No, right.
That being said, then you get into a situation where if a player is signing with certain teams, I mean, this is the old thing in pro sports, where it's like sign with a team in Florida, no state taxes.
Yes.
Right? You're essentially getting paid more money to go play there than you would somewhere else. And it's going, if that's the direction it goes, and I could see it going that direction, then you're going to have a significant advantage in recruiting free agents.
You're right. Guys are going to look at it and go, damn, okay, I can smoke weed here in the offseason and not have to worry about any repercussions. If I get caught with it in my car, as long as I'm not smoking, I'm not going to get arrested like I would maybe in some other state. All those things, you're right, will go into that conversation altogether. Hey, I'm glad the NFL is opening their eyes about the subject a little bit. I mean, popping pills, as we know, the opioid epidemic, it is real, okay, all across the country, especially with the young millennial kids. I mean, I talk to NFL players all the time right now who tell me they mess with pills because that's what they grew up with. High school, college, when they were at parties, it was uppers, it was downers, it was Adderall instead of doing Coke or whatever. So when you hear that, to me, you open the legalization of marijuana, you're going to take away some of that faction of people right away, let alone all the bad things that go into opioids. And as far as an NFL football player, I think NFL football players, they would prefer marijuana more than anything else as far as to relieve pain or, ease the tension of their body or ease the tension of the stress they have. Athletes don't want to drink. They don't want to drink. You know that. Drinking makes you feel tight. It dehydrates you. You're going to pull muscles. So
you know you're paying for it.
Exactly right.
Yeah, you know you're paying for it. And I thought Chris Long had some interesting comments, right? Just the idea that, about that. If you're going out and you're drinking and you're partying, it's going to take its toll. It's also something where, you would seem far more likely to get yourself into some sort of trouble. So from an organizational standpoint, and we talked about this also with, now video games being everywhere and guys playing certain video games and you can monitor online. It's kind of good for an organization to know, hey, my guy's at home. He's just staring at the screen and he's playing a video game. He's not out tearing it up at this point. So as Chris Long said, if you're binge watching Game of Thrones and you're smoking a little weed, probably better than going out there and, drinking a case of beer and railing shots.
Right. So. And then who knows where the night goes from there. All of a sudden, you're jumping off something into a pool and you're like, oh, damn, coach, I broke my nose because I jumped into the shallow end of the pool. That's like shit that I've had happen with teammates who
You've had someone up on the roof
just
I'm a golden
I'm
god.
Jumping off the balcony. Right. I'm a golden god. Yeah. So, I'm with you there. And, again, I think there's a greater number of players in the NFL that smoke marijuana than maybe the public realizes. I'm going to say it's about 70% in the NFL.
Well, it makes sense, especially with the idea, and Chris Long talked about, when the testing starts.
Right.
Which is ridiculous, by the way, that starts on 4/20. But when the testing's coming, as long as you are fairly intelligent about the situation, you should not be getting caught.
No, so. I know. And I was never fairly intelligent about it. I always pushed the limit. I always did, every time, because I was like, they're not going to get me the first few weeks. I'm going to keep doing it. Or I would go, I'm a fucking grown man. Them. I'm going to do what I want.
Defiance.
Right. And then you get caught and you're like, what an asshole I am. Apparently I'm not a grown man and now I'm on parole in the drug program. So this sucks. I had this thrown out to me by a guy in the NFL 10 days ago. He thinks that one of the reasons you're seeing some of the high-priced vets stay away, one, we know they're training with their trainers and they want to do their own thing. I get that. But this player told me he also thinks that the reasons you're seeing some of the higher-end players stay away is because they're getting extra time, one, to either clean out or continue to smoke weed because they know, because this is the time of the year, yes, where drug testing happens, but they don't come find you. They're not going to, send off the drug testers all over the world.
Yeah.
Go find Odell in Paris. It's drug testing time.
Yeah.
The NFL's not going to do that. What they expect is people to be around their facility, and the drug testers are in the facility on a daily basis, and they grab players and position groups, and it just continues.
So why would you put yourself right there anyway?
So that's why maybe some players, exactly right. And when it was said to me, I said, ooh, you might be onto something there. You could be right about that.
Someone potentially could have given you advice younger in your career.
Well, you can't. A quarterback, you're not going to get away with it.
That's true.
Because the coach is like, hey, what the you're not the quarterback. You need to get here. Right.
Well, I feel like if Peter Schrager is, being consulted by the Jets, then you should be consulted for anything that is weed related with the NFL. You should be the top of that list. You should be the weed czar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I certainly can add some knowledge to the subject.
I think you should be on that.
Right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.